pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com.
From one classic track to another, from Indianapolis last week, this week, to the famed Darlington Raceway in Darlington, South Carolina for round number 8 of the Extreme Motorsports Xfinity Series right here on Sim Racing Media. Good evening, everybody. My name is Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for making us a part of your evening. Alongside me tonight, my broadcaster, Clinton Woodby. And Clinton, I know you missed the race last week. We had a great race, a little bit of late race contact, bringing a surprise winner to the fold. But here at Darlington, we know that anything can happen, and you need to be inch perfect if you want to take home the checkered flag here tonight.
Oh, yeah. The Lady in Black's tough to tame, and let's see who's going to find out. Let's see who's going to be able to do it tonight. It's probably going to be a tough one, I'd say.
Yep, it absolutely will be here tonight as we're getting set to go. Let's take a look at the point standings as they sit right now. Currently, Paul Irvin has taken over the points lead. He had a very good run at Indianapolis last week. Mike Rominger falling down to second. biggest thing, though, here going into this race is we have 7 different races, 7 different winners here tonight, all trying to lock their way into the playoff championship, which will be coming up over the next couple of weeks. But here tonight at Darlington, we might just very well be in for an 8th different winner in 8 races. We look down the rest of the standings as they sit. We'll take a look also at the team standings here tonight. Coming into this race, currently Primetime Motorsports holding a pretty sizable lead here over Elite Esports. Rush Hour Racing there as well, Nicholas Caldwell Racing, Haynes Motorsports, Hutch Sport Racing, and Dark Horse currently the way the teams sit here in the teams championship. And we have about a minute to go here in this this practice session before we flip over into qualifying. Clinton, you told me before we got on air here you love this track, but you also hate it. How difficult is it, especially in these Xfinity cars, for these guys to be able to get around here tonight?
Yeah, it's really hard because there's 2 completely different turns of the racetrack. This might as well be called Bristol and Dover for all it matters because it's 2 different tracks on 2 different ends. Turn 1 and 2 is a lot quicker than 3 and 4, but you can kind of drive it in harder than 3 and 4. It's kind of weird. Especially in Xfinity cars, there's very little downforce, so it's going to be a handful coming out of the corners. And that's really the main part about, keeping the time and keeping the tread on the tires and keeping the heat down is getting out of the corner straight and not crooked.
These guys are going to have to do that 300 times here tonight. 150 laps, 2 times at each end per lap. It's not 300 laps, Clinton, don't worry. As we're getting set to go into the qualifying session here tonight. We talk about tracks like Daytona and Talladega, where qualifying isn't really all that important because you can find yourself anywhere throughout the field. But tonight, Clinton, qualifying here is going to be absolutely crucial to how your race plays out.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know if I would want to start up front. I'd probably be more nervous about starting up front than on the back. But in the back, you have all the traffic you have to go through, and that's nowhere you want to be on a racetrack like this. You just want to have clean air and open racetrack as much as you can.
Absolutely. As we see Michael Robinson jumping out onto the circuit, we're trying to get the paint situation sorted here, so you might see the paints go blank here from time to time during the race. That's me trying to update what's going on and bring you the proper paints here for the race tonight, as Michael Robinson working on his first qualifying lap in this 10-minute qualifying session. So these guys do have a little bit of time to be able to work and try to figure out when they want to get their laps in. As Robinson right now looks as though he will be the first one to set a time, getting right up against that wall in 3 and 4. And we know from watching many a race here at Talladega, at Darlington, pardon me, that right up against that wall is where you have to be if you want to put down the quickest laps.
Yeah, and that's the most terrifying place to be, oddly enough.
Certainly is. As looking through, Alex Reeling right now with the fastest lap so far. Currently at a 29.94, a full 10th quicker than Jacob Jensen. Car number 1, that Appalachian State Ford Mustang. Boy, can't get much closer to the wall than that. Yeah, well, there you go. Clinton, proving your point doesn't make it less true, sir.
Yeah, it doesn't make me feel better about it either.
As John Wimbish working on his first lap. Car number 98 had a solid run last week at Indianapolis. It's firmly in the race in the top 10 all evening long. as Wimbish will go fourth quickest here at Talladega. Solid run. Reeling appears to be the class of the field here at the moment, but Thwaites, Jensen, Wimbish, and Haynes all right on top of each other as we're about 3 minutes into this qualifying session. Most everyone has taken their qualifying time, or is at least out on track to take their qualifying time, as Wimbish will go a little bit slower there on that second lap. Here's Ed Morris. Morris on his second lap. Mike Rominger, big lap for car number 4, goes to the point at a 29.87. As we see Morris working his way, about to complete his second lap. Little bit slower there for Morris on his second lap. Mike Rominger completing his second, roughly the same time, but a little bit slower for car number 4, as we see the 15 of Ted Pullen out on track right now. Slowest of the drivers thus far. Well, it's amazing. I know I probably can drive it that close to the wall, and probably do around here without realizing it. But Clinton, when you're outside the car and you're seeing these drivers trying to push every little inch of pace out of it, it's heart-stopping stuff seeing these guys get this close to the wall and not hit it.
Yeah, like I said, I can appreciate that I'm not in the car for once. It's honestly a workout to try to not hit the wall every lap going around this place.
It's David Kellogg finishing his second lap. He will go 10th quickest on the board. As we will now see, let's see here, we've got Tommy Haynes out on circuit, car number 17. He says one and done. He'll go third quickest here tonight. One of just 3 drivers to get a sub 30 second lap, as right now we have Paul Irvin and Ed Morris Sr., the only 2 drivers that have yet to put down a qualifying lap. Josh Wren, who you're seeing here in the 36, qualified 14th. He has gotten his 2 qualifying laps in, but at a track like this, never hurts to get a couple of extra practice laps in. Waiting on, as we mentioned, Paul Irvin, Ed Morris Sr., Austin Karp, Logan Koger, here in the final 4 minutes of this qualifying session. Well, Clinton, I want to, first of all, while we have a little bit of time here, would like to say welcome to the team. This is your first race with Sim Racing Media, so I'll give you the floor here while we're waiting for some on-track action here. Tell the folks a little bit about yourself, where you come from, and how you stumbled upon SRM.
Well, I'm about 15 minutes out of Bristol, Tennessee, so I might as well just say that's where I'm at, so everybody knows. I just kind of heard of you guys on Facebook. I was just interested in trying broadcasting, announcing, whatever this is all called, and just figured I'd give it a whirl. And thanks for you guys for inviting me in. So it's pretty much been open arms from everybody.
And we try to make it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I just appreciate the opportunity and hope I can make everybody proud, I guess.
Well, certainly very, very happy to have you, as we're about to see the 48 jump out on track here with 3 minutes to go. What is your history in racing? I'm sure as a fan, you said before that you wanted to drive. You'd always wanted to drive, but certainly certainly have to have a passion for racing in order to do something like this. So where did that love for racing come from with you?
Honestly, probably my dad. He's the only race fan that I really know of. And just being raised, my parents weren't really together, but he was around enough to get me into racing, I guess you could say. Going to the local tracks and everything on Friday nights, and it's just been an avalanche from there, my love for racing. So whether it's on the track, of course, I'd like to be the next Josh Berry and go from iRacing to the real track, but that's probably not going to happen. But you never know. Yeah, I figured I'd just give broadcasting a go and see how it goes from there.
Well, I've always been, for me, my day job is working with sports radio and doing stuff with the San Diego Padres, and of course wanting to play in that world. At least I may not have the uniform on, but to at least still be around it. It's just as special for me, and to be around racing for me is just as great doing this as actually being around it. Keeps you up to date on what's going on. And speaking of being up to date, we have the iRacing update was pushed back. It was supposed to be tonight. Instead, it will be tomorrow, the big 2024 Season 1 update, as Paul Irvin has finished his qualifying run here for tonight. Expecting, now nothing has been, one thing we do know that has been confirmed, the Audi Evo, the Audi GT3 Evo is going to be replacing the current Audi GT3 that is currently in the IMSA and the Fanatec GT3 series. We do know that is coming out tomorrow. Expecting also to get Slinger Speedway tomorrow, Mugello Speedway, Mugello International Raceway in Italy should be coming out tomorrow as well. And a refacing for a very old racetrack, one of the older racetracks on the service. Okayama should be getting a full facelift coming up tomorrow. That will be a free update from iRacing. Nothing really big has changed except for the surrounding features and just an overall update to one of the first tracks to the sim, and a host of changes that we will be talking about throughout the evening. As we'll get set now to take a look at the starting grid here for tonight's race. Mike Rominger with a time of 29.870 will be starting on pole, with Alex Reeling making up the outside of row number 1. Tommy Haynes and Michael Thwaites will make up row number 2. Jacob Jensen and Ed Morris will sit out row number 3. Row 4 will go to John Wimbish and Nicholas Caldwell, with Rob Haynes and Nicholas Weatherby in row number 5. David Collot and Michael Robinson will make up row number 6. Row 7 goes to Garrett Heath, making his XMS Xfinity Series debut in car number 6. Josh Wren will line up to his outside in row number 7. Row 8 will go to Ted Pullen and Gary Wells. Paul Irvin, the last car to set a qualifying time, will line up next to Logan Koger in row 9. Row 10 will go to Austin Karp and Kerry Cleaver, with Ed Morris Sr. rounding out the field in the 21st and final position. Koger, Karp, Cleaver, and Morris, the drivers that did not set a qualifying time, will be lining up via their iRating here this evening. Weather conditions here for today's race. We are just past 3 p.m. in sim time on this day. Wind right now is a blustery 15 miles an hour blowing towards the west. So looking at the track map here, that would be a tailwind down the back straightaway going into the tight turns 3 and 4. With 90-degree ambient temperature, 92-degree track temperature. I would say 90 degrees is a little bit warmer than you would expect for South Carolina on the 5th of December. What do you say?
Yeah, but it doesn't sound too bad right now, to be honest.
It was, I'm in San Diego. It was 80 degrees today. I was annoyed. Looking back in New York where I used to live, weather was 43. I'm like, I need a winter home in Long Island. It should not be 80 degrees in December.
Yeah, it was a little warm for this area today, but it's still going to be cold. They're actually calling for snow tomorrow.
Oh, well, lucky you. As might be calling for snow there tomorrow, but it will be calling for racing here right now. Getting set to go. Green flag about to come out. Mike Rominger, pardon me, in control of the field. Green flag is in the air. We are racing here at Darlington. Rominger and Reeling getting out to the front early. Michael Thwaites, last week's winner at Indianapolis, holding on to the third position. Ed Morris there as well, car number 7. Everyone trying to get single filed out quickly here as Tommy Haynes slots into the 6th position. Very important, especially early on here, Clinton, to get out single file as quickly as you can.
Yeah, the longer you stay double file and trying to race somebody for position or just hold them up, it's just going to eat your tires, and there's really no point on lap 1, lap 2, lap 3, that early in the run. You might as well just let them go.
Rominger trying to let this lead go here a little bit, let it go a little bit longer. Alex Reeling sitting right behind him there in car number 1, and this is one of those very difficult, more technical racetracks that you're going to be seeing here on the NASCAR circuit, Clinton. And Alex Reeling, a couple of weeks ago, dominated at Sonoma Raceway up in Northern California, the road course up there. I would think that those road course skills in this car would certainly help with how touchy this car could be, especially around here with how narrow the groove is.
Yeah. It's pretty much like going through a really fast S section. I can compare it to that probably, just the way it would feel kind of. You just have to be prepared for anything, but try to keep all the momentum you can and the speed you can, but you're right on the edge.
A little bit further back, battle here just beyond the top 10. This is David Kellogg and Garrett Heath battling. The 38 of Kellogg to the outside. 35-year-old out of High Point, North Carolina, getting that position. He will jump up into the 11th spot, but boy, Garrett Heath is not letting him go.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much they actually put up a fight this early and not just let each other go and race later on.
Heath still holding up that inside lane. As, into the wall goes Kellogg. Around he will go. He'll keep it for the most part straight. As, into the wall goes his teammate, the 36 of Josh Wren. Big contact, but everyone kept it straight. We're staying green. Boy, and Wren immediately pulls it down to the bottom.
He must have probably a broken wheel or something after that.
See all that right front damage there on the 36. Now, if this was pre-1997, he wouldn't be in too bad a shape. He'd enter pit road right there, but ever since the flip, he's got to take it all the way around again. So we'll see what Josh Wren can make out of this race. Top 3 has changed a little bit. Ed Morris has gotten past Michael Thwaites, as has Jacob Jensen. As now looking up here for the race lead, Mike Rominger under fire from Alex Reeling. Reeling will take the race lead, keeping it pinned right down on that bottom of the groove. For the lead, he'll hold it, and he will lead lap number 8.
Guys are just waiting for somebody in front of them to make a mistake so they can just take over.
are. As Reeling now going to try to pull that gap away. Mike Rominger, Ed Morris, Jacob Jensen, all right here in this front pack. 2 cars about a half a second or so behind Michael Thwaites and Tommy Haynes. And then I think probably the most envied guy on the track right now, Rob Haynes, car number 99. He has no one in front of him for a half a second, no one behind him for a little bit more than a half a second. It's not that often, Clinton, that you find some clear racetrack, especially around Darlington. It's as much as you want to move forward, I'm sure just staying in that clean and open air is going to be just as precious tonight.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty much what anybody can ask for. Where he's at's almost perfect because he can get enough clean air from the car not being right on his nose, but still not the cleanest air, so he's probably going to have a little bit of tightness in the car right now.
He's now caught up to the back of that group, and part of the reason why is there has been a swap for the second position between Ed Morris and Mike Rominger. We'll take a look back and see. On board with Ed Morris, powers around the outside of Rominger, coming through 1 and 2. Makes the pass coming out of 2 onto the back straightaway, free and clear. So now a new second place runner, and he's not all that far away from fighting for this race lead here. He didn't quite have it at Sonoma, but boy, he's got it here tonight.
Yeah, he's made a charge from what, 3rd or 4th where he started?
6th, I believe.
About 6th, that's wow.
Not too bad. Basically a position every 2 laps is what Ed Morris has moved up to. He is not the biggest mover of the race, however. That honor will go to this man here, the number 19 of Austin Karp. Currently sitting in the 12th position. He is +7. And now Ed Morris, when we went to look back at Karp, Morris is up front. That number 7 looks very strong here in the early goings. Take a look back and see how that pass was done. Morris to the inside this time. Got it done before turn 1, so Reeling led a couple laps. Said, what the heck, gave it up, and now Morris already out to a half a second lead. Boy, he's flirting with that wall coming out of turn 2. Alex Reeling and Jacob Jensen now fighting for the second position. And Jensen will get up to P2. He's +3 here in the early stages of this race. Now for Reeling, Clinton, could this be he probably pushed it a little bit too hard, a little bit too early, or did he say, you know what, I've got my laps led. Let me now try to work on setting this car for the long run, as he's about to lose another spot.
You know, I wasn't really looking at the lap times, but the fact that everybody was kind of under a blanket doesn't make me think he was really overdriving it or driving too hard, but I don't know. He's kind of fell back, so maybe he's just saving a little bit right now.
Last time around, he did a 31.80, but again, that was with Jacob Jensen below him. Now Mike Rominger looks to go to the inside. Tommy Haynes looking to follow through as well. Again, 150 laps here tonight. Stage break will be at lap 50, so we'll have about 95 laps of racing to the finish here tonight. We are 18 laps in, still caution-free. Alex Reeling falling back. Ed Morris out in front, but Jacob Jensen is hot on his heels, closing back in on the race lead. About 20 laps in here at Darlington. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more action here from the Lady in Black.
Extreme Scoring to do the work for you.
Ricmotech high-performance sim racing equipment. Whether you're just looking to have fun, train for race day, or become a serious esports competitor, Ricmotech has you covered. Hundreds of name brand parts. Support from experts that love sim racing. Trusted by the pros. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com.
The search is over. The most comprehensive oval scoring solution is here. Featuring oval playoffs, adjust drivers per round, custom number of rounds, custom playoff points, provisionals, optional win and you're in, custom playoff displays, rookie championships, optional minimum participation, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today.
Back here at Darlington Raceway, round number 8 for the Extreme Racing Series, Xfinity Series. Right now, Ed Morris currently out in front. Jacob Jensen holding just behind, and as you can see on the screen, lap times have been very much in the favor of that 64 of Jacob Jensen. He has closed down on Ed Morris up front.
Oh, yeah. He's just been buying his time, I think, just waiting and seeing where he's making up the time and where the 7's losing the time.
And right now, where Jensen is, these guys are out front here by 2.5 seconds over Tommy Haynes. There he is in the number 17. Mike Robinger, Rob Haynes, John Wimbish is back there as well. Then you have about a second to Austin Karp, who, remember, we had said that he was the highest mover of the race, plus 7 positions. Yeah, he's up to 7th now, plus 12 from where that number 19 is started. And you saw there in the background, Alex Reeling catch the fence there coming out of turn 2. He has fallen from the race lead all the way down to 9th in about 10 laps or so. There is something amiss with that number 1 car.
Maybe he got into the wall and just lost a little bit of downforce, or maybe he was driving it harder than it looked earlier and just used a little bit more tires than the rest of the field.
Certainly, whatever has happened with that car, it's certainly not helping him. As here comes Austin Karp looking to the inside, pushing John Wimbish through. So Wimbish and Karp both move up a spot on Rob Haynes. That's Wimbish in the 98 up to 5th. Austin Karp up to 6th. That 19 is looking very, very dangerous here tonight. He's having a very good run.
Yeah, I've noticed on his ticker here, he's only been about 0.3 slower than the last, I don't know, overall 5 laps. So I think he's just losing time when he catches cars, really. I think he stayed pretty consistent.
Here's an interesting decision. Jacob Jensen coming into pit from the 2nd position. We're a little bit more than halfway through this first stage. But Jensen, who looked like one of the faster cars on the racetrack, deciding to come into pit.
The bold strategy, maybe tires are wearing off a lot tonight. It is a hot track, so.
Again, track temperature 92 degrees. It's now gone up, as a matter of fact, to 94. in the 10, 15 minutes or so since we started racing. We've been caution-free thus far here tonight. This three-way battle here. This is for the 5th position between John Wimbish, Rob Haynes, and Nicholas Caldwell. As Caldwell now looks to the inside of Haynes. And Haynes is going to dive to pit road as well. Oh, watch out.
This might string a bunch of guys coming on the pit road because they're going to lose a lot of time from new tires.
To that point, Ed Morris, who you're seeing on screen right now, his best lap of this race is a 30.16. His last time around, a 32.06, almost 2 seconds slower here in 30 laps as he just knocks the turn 3 and 4 wall down there on screen.
Yeah, that looked like a pretty hard impact there. That might actually do some damage.
Did look like he pancaked it, so I'm not quite sure how much damage it will do, but there's really no denying when you're 2 seconds slower than your best lap in just 30 laps, there's going to be a multitude of pit stops that these guys are going to have to do here tonight. So Logan Coker, David Calo, Michael Robinson all down pit road. Ed Morris Sr. has been lapped. There you see him in the number 5. Just in front of Tommy Haynes. As slowly creeping up is the 4 of Mike Rominger. And Ed Morris Sr. just nowhere to get out of the way in a timely manner has cost Tommy Haynes whatever advantage he had on Mike Rominger.
Yeah, traffic here is comes into play like a dirt track. I like to compare it because there's only one fast way around the track and everybody wants to be there, even the lap down cars. So if you catch them at the wrong time, the wrong place, you're definitely going to lose some time.
Mike Rominger trying to work that back bumper of Tommy Haynes, and Haynes finds his way into the turn 3 wall, something you're going to see everybody doing here at some point tonight. Loses all that momentum. Rominger looking to the inside. Rominger back up to 2nd, qualified on pole, led the first about 7 or 8 laps, fell back to as low as 5th. Here's a nice little scrum here, as that's Jacob Jensen, who has already come down pit road, stuck behind a couple of cars that have not come down pit road just yet.
Yeah, it looks like he's behind the 5th place car right now, so he might be able to get his lap back here pretty soon.
He'll be racing for that lap back, as will the 96 of Kerry Cleaver. He's back there as well. As Alex Reeling just, well, he's making sure he hits every wall here so far in the first 35 laps. As Wimbish catches the wall, that forces the 96 of Cleaver to scatter. Oh boy, watch out. Woo!
That was scary looking.
Yeah, no kidding. Almost reminds you of that Jimmy Johnson, Eric Almirola crash. What was it? Going into turn 3, Johnson lost the brakes. Almirola had nowhere to go. Again, both of them into the wall coming out of turn 2. Another thing you see happen here so often. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. I think for our sanity, we're gonna stop watching Kerry Cleaver here for a couple minutes. Let's go back to Michael Thwaites, who's just behind this group.
A little more relaxed.
Yeah,
maybe.
I would say so. It's Michael Thwaites with the 6 of Garrett Heath behind him. It's a battle for the 8th position between those two. Still up front, Ed Morris has not yet come down pit road. Jacob Jensen, by the way, there he is. with Mike Rominger behind him. So he's about 2.5 seconds behind Ed Morris to get his lap back the good old-fashioned way. Unfortunately, he is certainly going to need a caution if he wants to try to win this stage. Need either a caution or an Ed Morris pit stop as Garrett Heath in the number 6 comes down pit road. Alex Reeling finds his way around John Wimbish, as did Nicholas Caldwell. That's for 5th, 6th, and 7th between these two. Well, between these three.
Looks like the leader's losing a little ground to 2nd and 3rd right now.
Ed Morris, that gap, very, very true. Jacob Jensen has gotten around Ed Morris, by the way, so he is back on the lead lap, running in 11th at the moment. But that gap has come down quite a bit. Take a look at the time delta there. You can see it's almost a steady staircase coming back towards Morris, as he certainly is losing quite a bit of time. Austin Karp all over the back of Mike Rominger.
Yeah, he's made up 3 seconds on the lead gap in, I don't know, maybe 15 laps it seems like. So I think he was just saving tires.
About 1/4 second faster a lap than Ed Morris has Mike Rominger been. And now Rominger, oh boy, Rominger certainly getting closer to Ed Morris based on his own pace. But that 19 appears to be hustling him a little bit.
Yeah, this is one of those instances where let's see if he races him or just lets him go.
Stage points certainly on the line. Both Rominger and Karp have won races this season, as the caution comes out first of the night, and it will be the 15 of Ted Pullen who will bring this one out, and that is the caution that I think at this point Jacob Jensen, if he wanted to win the stage, didn't want to see. Ran comes off of the wall. It was just a mess there as Michael Robinson pushes Pullen around. Let's take a look and see here. This on board Robinson. Here, Robinson wasn't necessarily trying to push him around, just with how slow those two got with the 36 moving off the wall. Yeah, I would say that fake out would not have worked well for him as Ed Morris dives into the pits. So only lead lap cars able to come onto pit road here. Ed Morris, Mike Rominger, Austin Karp, and John Wimbish do take it down pit road. Paul Irvin does not. Paul Irvin, the only driver that has not yet pit in the first 44 laps of this race.
One thing's for sure, he'll have an extra set of tires at the end of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. But that is a bold man right there. Does have to go to lap 50, so it's not like he's got a long way to go. But if you're running 2 seconds slower than everyone else around you, it can certainly feel like a long way to go.
Yeah, maybe he's hoping they get the most laps they can until then, so he just gets a little bit fresher tires, so it might help him on the long run and after the first stage.
That is a good point. With Rominger, Karp, Wimbish, and Morris all coming into pit here. Morris took 2 tires, by the way, as did Mike Rominger. Austin Karp and John Wimbish, who came in to take 4 tires and repair damage. Those guys you would not expect to come into pit again. So Irvin trying to cut his losses and gain that little bit of advantage now. Maybe gain a couple of stage points as he was running towards the back for most of this run.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at this track, he's definitely going to be hard to get around, even being that much slower, so he might actually make a few positions up.
For Irvin was the slowest of the qualifiers, and the way he started the race, he immediately pulled off and dropped back to last. So I have a feeling that his qualifying the way he did was very much intentional. So he must be saving tires as much as he possibly can. As the lights are off on the pace car. 3 late around cars will go. Field will get doubled up as we will have 4 laps to go before the end of the stage. Paul Irvin, Austin Karp on the front row. Mike Robinger and Jacob Jensen in row number 2. John Wimbish, Ed Morris in row 3 here for this restart. I would think the biggest thing here for Irvin is not spin the tires.
Yeah, he's going to have to do that while trying to probably not get run over.
Yeah. That goes slow enough but fast enough. Little conundrum. As we are getting set to go back to green flag racing here. Only 5 cars on the outside line. Irvin gets a good launch, but does not have the top speed, it does not appear, to get in front of Austin Karp. So advantage immediately lost for Paul Irvin. He'll slot into 3rd. Austin Karp, who started in 19th, worked his way up to 3rd, is now in the lead.
Yeah, he was fast before that caution, so I'd imagine he's going to probably stay out front here.
Jacob Jensen, who we saw was incredibly fast as well, hot on his heels. Austin Karp, the winner at Chicagoland before the 2-week break for the 50-50 race that unfortunately never ran. And Thanksgiving. As with 2 laps to go, Austin Karp with about a half a second lead. Paul Irvin, as you mentioned, it's going to be hard to get around him. They're proving it. He has a load of cars behind him. And Irvin holding them all at bay, at least here for the moment. Rob Haynes, Ed Morris. Now make it, that's the 7 of Tommy Haynes going around as well. Oh, contact between the 8 of Michael Robinson and the 38. We're going to stay green here, well enough off the racing line. As Robinson and Colo go around. We're going to stay green with the caution coming out here in just a turn anyway. Austin Karp coming out of turn number 4 goes from 19th to 1st, winning the opening stage. What a drive.
I think he would have got him even if the caution wouldn't have come out. He was making up some time.
It absolutely was. Jacob Jensen, John Wimbish, Paul Irvin, Mike Rominger, Rob Haynes, Alex Reeling, Ed Morris, Gary Wells, and Logan Koger are the 10 that get stage points, but it's Austin Karp who takes the lot here at Talladega, here at Darlington. I will stop calling it Talladega at some point, I promise, and I'll use this break to try to remind myself where the heck we are.
Allow Extreme Scoring to do the work for you.
Ricmotech high-performance sim racing equipment. Whether you're just looking to have fun, train for race day, or become a serious esports competitor, Ricmotech has you covered. Hundreds of name brand parts. Support from experts that love sim racing. Trusted by the pros. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com.
The search is over. The most comprehensive oval scoring solution is here. Featuring oval playoffs, adjust drivers per round, custom number of rounds, custom playoff points, provisionals, optional win and you're in, custom playoff displays, rookie championships, optional minimum participation, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today.
Ricmotech high-performance sim racing equipment. Whether you're just looking to have fun, train for race day, or become a serious esports competitor, Ricmotech has you covered. Hundreds of name brand parts. Support from experts that love sim racing. Trusted by the pros. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com. Ricmotech high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com.
The search is over. The most comprehensive oval scoring solution is here. Featuring oval playoffs, adjust drivers per round, custom number of rounds, custom playoff points, provisionals, optional win and you're in, custom playoff displays, rookie championships, optional minimum participation, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today.
Getting set to go back to green flag racing here at Darlington Raceway in Darlington, South Carolina. The stage cautions are done. We are racing through to the finish. Green flag is in the air. Stage winner Austin Karp leads them down into turn number 1. Jacob Jensen, John Wimbish, Alex Reeling, Rob Haynes all did not pit, and that's a very hard hit for John Wimbish as the caution comes out.
And that, hey, it's Talladega, right? That was the big one, right?
I've only been broken like that one other time on air, so congratulations. I've been doing this for about 4 years, and it's the second time. I've been stunned without words. Very, very good. As we'll take a look one more time at that incident. Wimbish just looks like he slides up right into Alex Reeling. And just everybody else getting involved.
That's what you have to do on these restarts. You have to be aggressive, get all you can get.
Unfortunately got the wall, as it will appear as though everybody except for 3 or 4, maybe 5, got caught up in that. Austin Karp, Jacob Jensen, Rob Haynes, obviously free and clear. All happened right around Alex Reeling, so he was a centerpiece of it. Let's go take another look at a replay here. Let's jump on board here. This is with Ed Morris here on the restart. It was nothing abrupt, just drifted up into him, drifted up into his way.
Yeah, it looks like he didn't realize he was going to be a little in the middle lane and not all the way up against the wall, but it's one of the things where if you're going to be low, you got to stay low.
Wimbish just did not have him cleared as much as he would have wanted to, as everyone has, everyone I should say, sorry, is still in this race. Nobody is officially out yet.
So do these guys have a faster pair to use?
I don't remember. I don't believe so. You know, we do so many leagues and have done so many leagues. And some do, some don't. It's very bad of me to not remember, but let's take a look and see here if Alex Reeling, what that one car does. Yeah, no, I would say no fast repair, because I certainly would have used it right now if I had it.
Yeah, I noticed the 98 was missing the front end when he come down pit road, so I was probably thinking he didn't.
He might still be towing from turn 1. He's been in pit road for about 3 minutes now, so he might just be done towing here in the not-so-distant future. As we are still under caution, an incident coming through turns 1 and 2 right after the stage break. As Mike Rominger still trying to pit farm that number 4. Alex Reeling getting as much work done as he can. Cars trying not to fall a lap down. Alex Reeling will suck it up and just take the full damage repair.
Yeah, that was a lot of good cars in that one.
Yeah, there was. It's the unfortunate part of having a wreck out in front of the field. So only 2 cars, thanks to the amount of pit stops that have been under this caution. Only 2 cars will line up on the outside. It will just be Jacob Jensen and Michael Robinson. Michael Robinson, by the way, is a lap down. So he has almost pulled the old-fashioned single-file restart, starting up in front towards the leaders with everyone having come into pit. So it's Austin Karp, Jacob Jensen, Rob Haynes, Paul Irvin, Logan Koger. That is your current top 5. Green flag back in the air. We are racing once again here at Darlington.
And I think got a great restart.
Absolutely did. As Karp getting out and away, but it's not taking too long for Jacob Jensen to start reeling him back in as Logan Koger just does get clear of Michael Robinson. Michael Thwaites there as well. Garrett Heath, Gary Wells. Also here, that looked to have been Koger that caught the outside wall coming out of turn 4. Probably one of the closer races to a home race that he has. Of course, Talladega being from Saraland, Alabama. Talladega would be his home race. However, this is not too far away as Michael Thwaites looks to the inside of Robinson and gets the track position. Again, not for position for those two as Jensen, Haynes, and Irvin go duking it out for second.
Yeah, the 48 strategy actually seemed to pay off. It looks like running right there, top 5 and 4th, right behind 3rd, just chilling, looks like.
Finished 4th in the stage, currently runs 4th now, does Paul Irvin. And again, to go from last to effectively put yourself in last the way he did at the start of this race, just to find himself up where he was and gaining a lot of his positions on the racetrack, that's hard to do around a place like this.
Yeah, and I think he's made most of his passes under green. He might have, passed a handful under that caution that got taken out, but most of his passes have been under green, I believe.
Makes another one there as Rob Haynes backs out of the way. Austin Karp catches a little bit of the wall through 1 and 2, as does Paul Irvin. As I said, everyone's going to do it at least once. But Karp right now out in front as Jacob Jensen, another guy very, very quick. But we're not sure how quick he is over a long run, because while we saw Jacob Jensen up front battling for the race lead, he came into pit very, very early as compared to everybody else, came in a little bit past the halfway point in the stage. So we're not quite sure how that 64 is going to handle when he's got 40, 50 laps on those tires. As now Paul Irvin looks to the inside, he'll get up into second.
Yeah, the best thing for Jensen to do right now is to just race his race and no one else's, because his tires are going to be substantially older than everyone else's here in a little bit.
He did come into pit back on lap 43, I should say, as we see there's the pit strategy for the top 10. So Austin Karp doing this on 10 lap older tires than what Paul Irvin is doing it with. As Karp continues to show the way here at Darlington. Take a look at Gary Wells, car number 33, looking to the back of Garrett Heath. Jump on board with the number 33. With the number 87, I should say. Again, I do apologize for the paints. Probably not being accurate, most likely not being accurate. I've tried every way I can think of, short of uninstalling the program, which I'm sure is something that I'll have to do before next week at Kansas. So I promise I will make sure everything is ready to go before the final race before the Christmas break. So again, we're in the middle race of this little 3-race mid-season jaunt here. In Indianapolis last week, Kansas next week. Then we will not be broadcasting a 50-50 race. That will be not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after that, December 19th. Then it'll be the Christmas break, and then after that, coming back January 2nd of 2024 will be our first race of 2024. As a matter of fact, we'll be at Talladega Superspeedway, 91 laps at the big 2.66 mile tri-oval, as Rob Haynes losing out a spot to Logan Koger there in car number 25. Michael Thwaites also not that far behind. These two were a little bit behind not all that long ago, now starting to catch back up as we jump on board with Thwaites.
Yeah, he makes passes on the 99. 99 just pretty much let him go, but he's still making up some time on the guys in front of him as well.
Absolutely is. Michael Thwaites last time around a 30.83. Compare that to the leader, Austin Carper, did a 31 flat last time by, so they've been catching up. As Paul Irvin, take a look, last couple laps between these two, it's been right around a tenth of a second gained for the 48. And with the amount of pace that he has right now, a tenth of a second is just about all he needs to do to get the job done here as we inch towards halfway. Koger getting around Jacob Jensen, or trying to at least, almost getting into the wall, those two battling for third.
And that's where it gets really tight coming off of turn 2.
Famous line from Days of Thunder, no one passes to the outside of turn 4. That time it was turn 4, turn 2. As we do have a new leader as we were watching that. Paul Irvin now out in front. Let's take a look and see how the pass was made. Going through turn 3. Boy, it looked like Irvin just threw the wheel left. Cut right in under the 19. And from last to first in half of the race.
As I like to always say, chess not checkers, and he's definitely playing chess.
By the way, speaking of going from last to first, Paul Irvin running in first plus 16. Austin Karp running in second plus 17. Logan Koger running in third plus 15. The top 3 drivers are our top 3 biggest movers. That is something you never hear at a place like Darlington. Michael Thwaites running where he started right now in fourth, as is Jacob Jensen. For the drivers that were involved in the big wreck at the beginning of the stage, there is Ed Morris. He currently holds on to the 10th position. Now, he did lead some laps, a good amount of laps, in that first stage. Led the most laps, as a matter of fact, in the first stage. Got involved in that pit road exit scuffle. Got in that turn 1 scuffle, pardon me. There is Mike Rominger. He is running 11th. Currently sitting 20 seconds off of the race lead. A little bit more than 20 seconds, as a matter of fact, off of the race lead. He was another guy who was battling up at the front. And Alex Reeling, here he is. He is currently running in 20th position, about 10 laps down. He did come in as, that's the 8 of Robinson. Caution has not come out. Now it has. What in the world happened to Michael Robinson?
That was a long ways down the backstretch.
Certainly was. He's coming out of turn 4. Oh.
Ooh, started early.
Ooh. That's what happens when you hit that wall a little bit too hard. It certainly has the ability to bounce you back across. That is exactly what it did. to mention
That
another.
was a tough hit there.
Yeah, it certainly was. Another big part, actually the main part of that wreck, back on lap 56, John Wimbish, he is done for the day. The only retirement of the day here thus far, as it appears as though wholesale pit stops are on offer here at Darlington.
It's a long pit road, and I think pit road speed here is 35 or 45. It's really slow.
And 45 on the nosy here for these drivers. And again, this is, it does look awkward, and that's because, again, I mentioned it quite a number of times here tonight. This was not the original pit road. This was the backstretch pit for many, many years. As 11 drivers, actually 14 drivers right now coming in to get service. And naturally, because it is the only pit, it's been elongated to fit all the cars on one pit road. And Paul Irvin, pretty free and clear, gets out as the first driver to leave pit road. So, again, we mentioned only 20 drivers left here as we're just past halfway. Only 3 cautions here tonight for incident, and then the one for the stage. I'd like to thank those of you who have joined us coming over from the SCL Late Model Stock and Street Stock Series, both at Lucas Oil Raceway, formerly Indianapolis Raceway Park. We'll be there with the SCL Series again tomorrow night for the Super Truck Series race at Lucas Oil Raceway. Racers Elite this week as well. ISNF will run their second to last race at Talladega this weekend on Saturday. A lot of seasons coming to a close here. There will be a bunch of happy people just before Christmas, labeled as brand new champions. Here for a lot of the series that we broadcast. And coming back, I mean, I'm excited for 2024, Clinton. I know, again, this is your first race here with us. We've done a lot of fantastic racing over the years, crowned a lot of champions here on this network, but 2024, the outlook for 2024 seems very, very good for Sim Racing Media and where we can go, and I'm sure we're going to be bringing a lot of fantastic racing coming to you guys starting up next year.
Yeah, these boys are putting on an amazing show right now, especially to be at Darlington, and only have, I think we've had actually 2 cautions.
3.
Not counting the stage.
3 cautions, not counting the stage.
3, okay.
So it'll be a wonderful way to close out the year. Coming up next week, or 2 weeks from now, I should say. We only have 2 more weeks of racing to go in this calendar year before a couple weeks off before the new year, as we get set to go back to green flag racing here. Paul Irvin out in front. Austin Karp, Michael Thwaites, Jacob Jensen, your top 4. Green flag back in the air. Paul Irvin, a very good jump. And he will get out to a very nice lead as well. About a quarter of a second as Michael Thwaites puts a little bit too much gas into it. Somehow keeps it straight.
Yeah, it looked like he clipped the apron getting into the corner and just tried to send it in there a little too hard.
Now 3 wide. He's going to back it down. He's going to go all the way to the back now. Here's Michael Thwaites. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'd much rather lose some positions than lose my race car.
Yeah, it was a nice save for sure.
Paul Irvin, Austin Karp, Jacob Jensen, Rob Haynes, Logan Koger, your current top 5. A name that we haven't mentioned here tonight at all. Running in the number 44, that's Nicholas Weatherby, has found himself up here out of New York. 20-year-old kid. Running up here in the top 6 for the first time tonight. Running up in the lead pack here as well. So a very nice showing for Weatherby. As we have 65 laps to go. Boy, Logan Koger really having a moment there. A little bit further back, I believe we've had an incident here with David Collot. There he is. Oh, watch out. Gets it back off the racing surface. Go in the right direction, so we will stay green. That's what happened with David Collot. He had to back off to keep from running over the 15, and the 1 ran over him.
It looked like a bunch of people checking up.
Yep, it did. Paul Irvin, Austin Karp, Jacob Jensen, Rob Haynes, Logan Koger, your current top 5. So very nice debut here for the number 6 of Garrett Heath. Currently running. Oh, what in the world happened there? Apologies. That one surprised me, I'm sure, just as much as it surprised you.
No, not at all.
Well, you didn't see what happened. I was trying to be nice. I didn't know the quality of my stream, so I went to reset it for you, and my Discord shut down and jumped on the racing screen.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so it's been one of those nights here, folks. As jump back up to the front, Paul Irvin, Austin Karp, Jacob Jensen. Logan Koger has gotten around Rob Haynes. Take a look and see what happened there. Going through 1 and 2. Weatherby getting a little bit of the wall, and there goes Logan Koger around Haynes. So 60 laps to go. A lot of the heavy hitters towards the back with damage. But up here at the front, it has been a very, very good race for these guys, as Irvin, Karp, and Jensen keeping each other very, very honest here as we get 60 to go.
Yeah, these guys are probably just pacing each other right now. I would say the 48's not pushing any harder than he has to.
It's not allowing the 19 past him either, as I believe we just saw somebody go down pit road. It might have been Ted Pullen. Pullen a moment ago, he had gone around. Oh, that was contact with Josh Wren. And that, at least for the moment, has put an end to Ted Pullen's day. Pullen right now running in the 15th position. As Paul Irvin continues to lead, getting right up on that outside wall. Austin Karp fighting close behind.
Yeah, he's really pushing it now. Just can't get the car to turn probably. How many laps do they have on their tires now?
They came in on lap 79, so it's only about 15 laps into the run here, but this is usually the time where tires do start to hit the cliff. As we are just shy of the century mark here at Darlington Raceway, we will take one final break and be right back and take you to the finish here from Darlington, South Carolina.
Ricmotech high-performance sim racing equipment. Whether you're just looking to have fun, train for race day, or become a serious esports competitor, Ricmotech has you covered. Hundreds of name brand parts. Support from experts that love sim racing. Trusted by the pros. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com. Ricmotech high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com.
The search is over. The most comprehensive oval scoring solution is here. Featuring oval playoffs, adjust drivers per round, custom number of rounds, custom playoff points, provisionals, optional win and you're in, custom playoff displays, rookie championships, optional minimum participation, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today.
Back here at Darlington Raceway, race number 8 here in the Extreme Motorsports Xfinity Series. And you just saw a pass for the lead between Austin Karp and Paul Irvin, as well as a nifty little battle here between Michael Thwaites, Tommy Haynes, and Nicholas Weatherby. That would be for the 7th, 8th, and 9th positions, which have now been sorted out. And here with 45 laps to go, you'll notice there, Clinton, sun's going down.
Yep, and this track's cooling off. A little bit better traction, but it's probably a little bit too far gone.
Ooh, Jacob Jensen, did you see how loose that 64 car got coming out of 4?
That was pretty much a wreck without a caution.
Yes, it certainly was. As Paul Irvin certainly used up those tires in that Ally number 48. As Jacob Jensen, yeah, you just barely see through the sun as well. That's another thing that iRacing unfortunately simulates very, very well around here, is how much the sun gets in the way going into turn 3. It's a very interesting look as a fan, but as a driver, it's awful. Jensen just not quite able to get the run that he needs to get. He had a very good run just a moment ago, but after that wiggle, guess deciding to back the car down and try to see what he can do, try to get the temperatures back under control and put up another fight a little bit later on.
Yeah, that, what I'm going to call is a spin, pretty much. That heats up that right rear a lot, so he just needs to let it cool down for now.
Or
And
not.
that's
I remember that happened a lot at the old Atlanta, especially in the Cup cars. At the old Atlanta, all of a sudden you'd find yourself slipping and sliding down the backstretch for nothing. As Paul Irvin had a dreadful turns 1 and 2, allows Jacob Jensen to get to the inside of him and past him for second spot.
Yeah, it looked like the 48 got tight in 1 and 2 and just had a really bad exit.
Instead of putting the car in the wall, we saw what that can do a little bit earlier on. Put that car in the wall, it could sling you down to the bottom. As down the backstretch they go. Here comes Paul Irvin down pit road. This should perk up the ears, I'm sure, of Austin Karp and Jacob Jensen.
Yeah, I would say it'll be a short time now, and the leaders will probably hit pit road.
Again, you're about 2 seconds a lap slower.
Looks like the 17 and the 6 decided to come in with him.
It's Tommy Haynes and Garrett Heath. I think Heath is coming out of pit road here. Yeah, he is. So Paul Irvin pits with the 17. And Austin Karp saw Jacob Jensen hit the wall there again. It would certainly behoove these guys to respond quickly because, again, if the tire fall off is 2 seconds a lap, that's a lot to have to try to make up and try to conserve the tires for a final 35, 40 lap dash.
Yeah, it's a fine line whether you want to wait and try to have more tires at the end or get them now and try to make up time now.
Saw, I believe it was earlier this season or last season with the Western States Racing League, the Truck Series came here. Drivers tried 2 stops and 1 stop, and it was the 1-stop strategy that won. The 2 stoppers didn't have enough time to get around and put a fight up. So it would certainly be in your best interest to try to pit as quickly as you can. As there's Paul Irvin, you see him there in the 48. trying to make up as much ground as he possibly can, especially with the 19 and the 64 not coming into pit yet. You have to make up, and you see pushing it 3 wide there, have to make use of those tires, get as much a gap as you can, and then try to hold on from there.
Yeah, he didn't make it easy for those guys to get around each other either.
No, and that's a battle for position as well between the 4 and the 44. Gary Wells in that 33 is there for position as well. So all of these guys running for position, and Paul Irvin has just up and left them. That is the advantage of these tires. Gary Wells catches the wall. Weatherby catches Wells. Both of them are
that
about
was bound to happen with that many people there, that close together.
Garrett Heath there as well. There's the 44 of Weatherby off to pit road. I am surprised that Karp and Jensen have not responded yet to Paul Irvin. I understand that you may feel as though you're quick and you may feel like the tires are okay. You've settled into your groove. But when a guy who's been as fast as Paul Irvin has been all day, since getting to the front, you do have to kind of respond, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, maybe they're just waiting for him to get around them, almost lapping himself, so they're maximizing the time they're going to have on the new tires.
There's Austin Karp. Now Karp is coming in now. Very slick. Dirt tracking it down there on the bottom. Jacob Jensen decides to stay out, decides to lead a lap. There's Logan Koger. He is there as well, and there is Paul Irvin. Last lap for Jacob Jensen, a 32:49. Last lap for Paul Irvin, 30:43. 2 seconds quicker. Take a look here at the track map. There's the 48 down at the bottom of it. He has just passed Austin Karp now. So Paul Irvin will be your race leader. Irvin, who was about 3 seconds behind Austin Karp when they came into pit. There's Austin Karp coming out of pit road now. From 3 seconds behind to 10 seconds up. That is the difference in 7 laps of being on the track on fresh tires.
Whoa, there's a big slide there.
If that was a slide or if that was Haynes just diving out of the way. He's got a fight now with Tommy Haynes and, Michael Thwaites and Rob Haynes for position. Tommy Haynes has come into pit. He came in on 111. Jacob Jensen down pit road. Logan Koger down pit road as well. Out of the box. Did that about as dramatically as he could.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that hurts his tires at all in this run.
One guy who certainly hurt himself, Jacob Jensen, too fast on entry. Hold in the box for 40 seconds.
That's going to kill his race right there.
Yep. I don't think a caution at this point is going to save him either, as there is your race leader. Car number 7, Ed Morris. It's the first time he's been in the race lead since about lap 45. When he came into pit, he was right in the middle of that big wreck back on lap 56 that brought out what was our last caution of the day so far. And Paul Irvin, there he is. taking mile after mile out of that number 7, goes right to the bottom. Paul Irvin back to the race lead. Now the task, he knows it. Hold it for 27 laps. As there's Austin Karp getting around Garrett Heath for third. 7.5 seconds he needs to hold for 27 laps.
It's going to be close, I think.
I think as a driver, though, as long as you know what the objective is, of course, you need to win. But to know it's, okay, I got to pace myself enough to not give up X amount over X amount of time. I think that's got to really help Paul Irvin more than it does Austin Karp, I think.
Oh, yeah, as a driver in the lead late in the race, it's just a bunch of numbers and algorithms and just everything going on in your head.
Which is all well and good if you're good at math, which, you know, so that's the next test. Are you good at math? Clinton.
Well, I'm supposed to be, but usually whenever I'm in a race car, it's hard to think about all the numbers, so that usually doesn't work well for me.
Okay, so you will fit right in because we here at SRM unfortunately have a reputation. We are not good at math. So you will fit right in, sir. It's Ed Morris. Just saw Ed Morris, by the way, completely, I don't want to say give up, but allow these drivers to go. Or he may have, you know what, that might have been it, actually. He might have missed pit road the first time around, had to go back around again, and now here he is here. And to prove that fact, here he is. Yep, missed it.
It'd be interesting to see if he got a black flag as well. It looked like he was a little quick on entry, but maybe he wasn't.
Again, Ed Morris was running right around the 11th, 12th spot, which is where he is now, prior to coming into pit road, or prior to the pit cycle, I should say. Battle for fourth as Garrett Heath. Again, debut race for car number 6. It's been a very nice run for him, the driver out of Waterbury, Vermont. Haven't seen too many iRaces from Vermont. He has certainly given a good impression on that fact. Passed up by Michael Thwaites for fourth. But regardless, a very good run. Oh, around in the back, that's the 5 of Ed Morris. And the caution will fly. It was Ed Morris and Logan Koger.
Oh.
Just about causing a big problem there. By the way, no speeding penalty for Ed Morris in the 7. So he was all good to go there. Koger trying to get to the outside. 5 didn't quite see him.
Yeah, he could have definitely gave him a little bit of more room there, probably.
And on to pit road goes Paul Irvin, Austin Karp, Michael Thwaites, Garrett Heath, and Nicholas Weatherby. Those are the 5 that have gone on to pit road. Rob Haynes, Tommy Haynes, Logan Koger, and Gary Wells have elected to stay out. There are the pit stop laps for the drivers currently running in the top 5. Rob Haynes 115. Tommy Haynes 111. Logan Koger just came in at 120. Gary Wells on 117. And now Paul Irvin, Austin Karp, Michael Thwaites, Garrett Heath, and Nicholas Weatherby on 130. So that is an interesting little bag of strategy we have now found ourselves in the final 20 laps.
Yeah, it should make for an exciting end.
So Ted Pullen there in the number 15. He is going to be forced to fall to the back, as will the 64 of Jacob Jensen, who again sped on pit road on his pit stop on lap 120. His race effectively signed, sealed, and delivered right there. So we have effectively a 9-car race for the win here at Darlington. 4 on fresh tires, 4 on old tires, 5 on fresh. And enough time to run your tires into the ground if you push them too hard. Again, coming up on Sim Racing Media a little bit later on, actually right now, we'll be sharing airtime right now with the Western States Racing League. Should be coming up to or near their championship races. Here in the not so distant future. Schedule real quick. Oh yeah, tonight they are at Daytona in the Xfinity cars. Next week they will be at Phoenix to crown a champion. The Friday night Gen 4 Cup Series, which we do not broadcast, their championship race will be this Friday at Chicago. Looking at the standings, Lyle Swearingen at the moment looking like he will be the champion. 8 wins out of 19 for Lyle. Looks well on his way to his first Friday night championship with WSRL. Tomorrow night, SCL Super Truck Series at Lucas Oil Raceway, formerly the Indianapolis Raceway Park. Racers Elite running this weekend as well. As the green flag set to come out, there it is. 17 laps to go, and what a jump for Paul Irvin. Logan Koger threw a big block. Oh, Austin Karp, there goes Irvin. Big slide, big save. Wow, what a job. Oh, watch out. Caution has not yet come out. But boy, Paul Irvin wrecked for about half a lap, and through that, Logan Koger finds himself in the race lead. My goodness. Austin Karp is on fresh tires. Koger on 10-lap older tires. Karp looking to become the first duplicate winner and the second win in 3 starts. Or in his last 3 starts, I should say, and Karp won the drag race that time around.
He's trying to give him a little bump there. I don't think he's got anything for him, though.
I wouldn't think so, unfortunately, with 10-lap older tires. Take a look back here at this restart and see what happened with Paul Irvin. What a start that 48 had. Second car on the outside lane. Rob Haynes on the bottom gets up to the outside. Koger goes into the wall. 48 bumps Koger. Austin Karp on the fresh tires, contact between the two. An incredible save, and then Irvin trying to get back to the track. Fortunately, the car bit. Back end started to come around, and away they went from there. And Austin Karp now with 13 laps to go is running away. Look a little bit further back. Garrett Heath looking for fourth on Rob Haynes. He will get it. Weatherby also came into pit under that caution. He's now looking for fifth. Just because we don't call your name out on the broadcast doesn't mean you had a bad race by any stretch. And for Nicholas Weatherby, he's had a quiet but solid night in car number 44 as Michael Thwaites gets around Logan Koger, at least for the moment, still side by side as they head down the front.
It'll be interesting to see how many guys can pass the 25 with him on older tires.
Garrett Heath 1.1 seconds behind. Nicholas Weatherby is a further second behind that. Those are the last two cars for position that have fresher tires than Logan Koger. Austin Karp, winner at Kansas. The race before the 2-week Thanksgiving break. Michael Thwaites, winner last time out last week at Indianapolis. Running first and second at the moment. Garrett Heath now looking to the back bumper of the 25 of Koger.
We'll see if the 25 actually races him or just lets him go where he is on older tires.
36, I believe, of Josh Wren that was stopped on the backstretch but well off the racing line, which is why we're still green as here comes Heath looking to the inside. Koger puts on a little bit of a block. Boy, tough but fair.
Yeah, he's probably taking it a little easy on him, it being his first race and all, but I'd say he's probably going to try to make sure he gets it.
A little bit of a bump going into turn 3 from Heath. And Heath will look to the inside. Has the track position to get the move done. Beats him in the drag race to the line. And now has the spot. So Garrett Heath, first race in the series, looking like he's going to get a podium.
Looking like these guys are going to have to take him as a threat, that's for sure.
Absolutely. What a way. I mean, short of coming in with a win, come away with a top 3 finish in your debut. That's a pretty good way to, as was said in Bull Durham, announce your presence with authority. Now Koger has Nicholas Weatherby on his tail as Mike Rominger, who came into pit under this caution, will slot into the 6th position behind Rob Haynes. Now the good news for Koger is that this battle that you're seeing here is the battle for position behind Nicholas Weatherby, and it's 6 seconds back. So Koger here with 5 laps to go, if he does lose out to Weatherby, it should be the last spot that he loses tonight. Back up front, Austin Karp currently holds a 2-second lead over Michael Thwaites. That's the good news. With 4 laps to go, that's the even better news. The bad news is Thwaites has been quicker every single lap on Austin Karp. Unfortunately, time is his enemy right now.
Yeah, and it's hard to say. The 19 could have just been taking his time for a few laps just to make sure he wasn't driving a little too hard.
Pulled out about another 10.5 on Thwaites that time, so Michael Thwaites falling back now on Austin Karp. Another battle for position as Paul Irvin tries to get another spot. He's in the top 10 right now, has 9th right in front of him.
I don't know how he was able to catch anybody without the bumper.
Well, I mean, we saw it at Martinsville. Oh, God, what year was it? I think it was the early 2010s when Mark Martin lost that back bumper and looked like he gained an extra 20 miles an hour. He was flying up through the field, ended up finishing second. So that, no back bumper, if you can work it right, it's a pretty good advantage. But here is the man with the biggest advantage right now. Austin Karp working his way through turns 1 and 2 down the Boeing back straightaway. Coming through 3 and 4, had a solid race all race long, was up at the front, plus 18 spots from his 19th place starting position. Austin Karp wins here at Darlington.
It looks like he is ready to be done with this track.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I do not blame him one bit. I did my 150. I'm going home. Not a single one more.
He pulled a Josh Williams on him, just parked it.
Well, what a race here tonight at Darlington. And how about this run for Michael Thwaites as well? Solid second place finish. And even better for Garrett Heath, whose debut race comes away with a 3rd place finish. As ooh, in the back there, a couple of cars on pit road. Extracurriculars, as we will now jump in with our race winner, Austin Karp. Your winner here tonight, first duplicate winner of the season. How was this race, considering you did your 150, you pulled it off and stopped right there, you said, I'm not doing another one. How difficult was this race here tonight? Austin, you there? All right, so we will jump back in a moment with Austin Karp. Let's instead go 3rd to 1st here. Garrett Heath, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
First race here in the series. You come home with a 3rd place finish. What a debut, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. I don't know the backstory, but I used to run this league back in the day. Then I retired, and I just came back 2 days ago. This is my literally first race. I don't know. I'm just really shocked right now I did so well, especially at Darlington. It's such a hard, demanding track. It's really hard track to master, and I was able not to hit the wall too hard, but I hit it a couple times trying to get some speed, but I loved it. I love being here.
Now, you ran in the middle of the field most of the race. How difficult was the fight in the mid-pack? Because we saw you around cars pretty much most of this race whenever we went back and saw you.
So it's one of those things where usually if you pass someone, on old tires, usually they let you by just about after like 10 laps. It's really hard to pass people unless they let you pass them, unless you move them. I don't like moving people unless when it is really disrespectful, but I don't really ran into that at all. So I was just chilling behind people, just trying to keep my car clean. And I was trying to not use as much tires on my pit stop, and that worked. So at the last yellow, I was able to pit, get my set of tires. I don't know how many other guys had a set of tires. I only think like 4. So I just was able to go move around people and pass them. After that, you get a top 3.
We go to the final race of the calendar year coming up next week at Kansas. What are your thoughts going into a track which you're going to be running the high line there as well if you want to be fast?
Last time I ran there in the Xfinity car, it was the low side, so definitely gonna have to practice. I love Kansas. Kansas is probably my favorite track, so either I'm gonna do really good or really bad. But yeah, I love it.
All right, anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Shout out to my sponsors, Gary Wells, the team I'm racing for, my mom, parents, family watching the stream. Love you guys.
All right, your third place finisher here tonight, Garrett Heath. Welcome back, sir. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now go to our second place finisher, Michael Thwaites. Michael, I want to take you back here to the restart after the stage break. You were somewhat near the middle of that. What did you see happen from your perspective on that turn 1 incident?
Honestly, I just saw a lot of smoke. I don't really know. I just like, all right, I gotta go inside. I see them all start spinning, and I was like, okay, go inside. And then somebody spun in front of me, and I had to brake real quick and go around them. It was a wild race.
Pretty much, where did he come from finish here tonight? How do you find a way to put yourself in these positions to come out in a good spot to where you can come out with a good finish?
I mean, I would say do it without making mistakes, but I made a lot of mistakes tonight. So I don't know. It's just I don't know. The car just felt good at the end. It really did.
We go to the final race of the calendar year, Kansas, coming up next week. What are your thoughts going into the 1.5 miles?
Kansas, I don't know. It may just be a one-lane race, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'm looking forward to it.
All right, anyone you want to give a shout-out to before we let you go?
Yeah, of course. Ricmotech, everybody at Extreme, Ed, my teammates. Eric's not here racing with us, but, we're waiting for him to get back. And, of course, what you guys do in the booth. Appreciate it.
Your second place finisher here tonight, Michael Thwaites. Bud, congratulations.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, Austin Karp is no longer in the Discord chat, so we will not be able to get a word in with him this week. We will try next week to get a word in with our race winner. But again, Austin Karp coming out on top. Clinton, for your first race here, not just with this series, but for SRM, a pretty composed race at the end, but still a lot of action we saw here tonight at Darlington.
Yeah, these guys are putting on a heck of a show all the way through it. Really just close battles all throughout the field, the whole race, whether it was up front, mid-pack, towards the back, they were all just right there with each other.
Certainly were, as we will now, again, go to Kansas next week. But before we go there, let's take a look at the results here for tonight's race. Austin Karp coming away with the win, the first duplicate winner of the season. Michael Thwaites, Garrett Heath, Logan Coker, and Nicholas Weatherby, your top 5. Mike Rominger, Rob Haynes, Tom Haynes, Paul Irvin, and Gary Wells, your top 10. Jacob Jensen, Nicholas Caldwell, Ed Morris, and Ed Morris Sr., with Kerry Cleaver coming home in 15th. Alex Reeling, who led laps early but got caught up in that wreck. David Collot, Josh Wren, Ted Pullen, Michael Robinson, and John Wimbish rounding out the field of 21 cars here tonight. So that will do it for us here from Darlington Raceway. For my broadcast partner, Clinton Woodby, I am Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for making us a part of your evening. We will see you next week from the Kansas Speedway, but until then, remember, as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.
Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, ricmotech.com.